What do you do when the evidence against you was performed by your own child, rehearsed in a bedroom you paid for, on a phone you bought her for her birthday? I'm a father. I have a daughter called Maisie. She is 15 years old, she has her mother's eye for drama and my stubbornness, and in November of last year she posted a 4-minute video to her social media account in which she described our relationship as controlling, isolating, and emotionally abusive. The video received 11,000 views in 48 hours. Her school saw it, my colleagues saw it, my solicitor saw it at 8:30 on a Monday morning and called me before I had finished my coffee.
I want to be precise about the language Maisie used in that video because the language is the point. She said I had isolated her from her friends. She said I had monitored her phone. She said she felt unsafe during contact visits. She used the phrase coercive control, a specific legal term that carries significant weight in family court proceedings, and she used it correctly, syntactically and contextually, in a way that a 15-year-old who had spontaneously decided to make a video about her feelings might not naturally use, but a 15-year-old who had been carefully prepared by someone with a working knowledge of family law might.
I'm not saying Maisie lied, I'm saying Maisie was given the word. My name is not what matters here. What matters is that I had been in family court proceedings for 11 months at the point the video was posted. My ex-wife, a woman I will call Rachel, had applied to vary our child arrangements order to reduce my contact from alternate weekends and Wednesday evenings to supervised contact only, on the grounds of the impact my parenting was having on Maisie's emotional well-being. The application had been making slow and inconclusive progress through the system. The CAFCASS assessment had not yet concluded, and then the video appeared and suddenly the application had momentum it had not previously had.
Let me stop here, because we are about 2 minutes in and I need to ask you something directly before I continue. How many of you watching this heard a teenager use the phrase coercive control in a 4-minute video and did not wonder, even briefly, who had taught her that phrase? I'm not asking this rhetorically. I'm asking because I have had this conversation with my solicitor, with my barrister, with my mother, with 3 friends, and the honest answer is that most people hear a teenager describe something painful and believe the description before they interrogate the delivery, which is human, and which was exactly what Rachel was counting on.
My solicitor is a man called Graham, methodical, unsentimental, and possessed of an unusual talent for being right about things he should not yet be certain about. Graham watched the video twice and said, "She is reading." I said I did not understand. He said, "Watch her eyes. Watch when she looks down. She is reading from something."
I watched it again. He was right. At 3 points in the 4-minute video, Maisie's gaze dropped fractionally before she used a complex phrase. Not the way you look down when you are gathering your thoughts, the way you look down when you are checking your notes. Graham filed an application for disclosure of Maisie's phone records in December. The application was resisted by Rachel's legal team on the grounds that it constituted an intrusion into the child's private communications that was not proportionate to the issue at hand. The judge who heard the disclosure application in January disagreed. He ordered disclosure of the relevant device data for the 7 days preceding the video. In that period, Maisie had received 41 messages from Rachel's phone number. She had received 6 from mine, all unanswered. The messages from Rachel could not be read because they had been deleted from both devices before the disclosure order was made, deleted specifically in the 12 hours after the disclosure application was filed.
Both devices, same 12-hour window. Rachel had deleted 41 messages from her phone and Maisie had deleted the corresponding messages from hers, after she was told a court was going to ask to see them. Graham described this in his application as conduct that invited adverse inference, which is the legal principle that says when a party destroys evidence after being told it is relevant to proceedings, the court is entitled to draw conclusions about what that evidence would have shown. The midpoint of this story is where I have to tell you what the counter lawsuit is, because Rachel did not wait for the adverse inference application to be heard. She filed a harassment claim against me in February, alleging that my pursuit of the phone records constituted a campaign of intimidation against her and against Maisie, that I was using the legal process to control her, and that the application itself was evidence of the coercive pattern she had been describing all along. She filed a harassment claim against a father who had applied for disclosure of phone records in proceedings she had initiated. This is the gear change. This is where the story stopped being about contact and became about something considerably larger. Because a harassment claim, even a weak one, carries the risk of an injunction, and an injunction against me would have implications for the family court proceedings that I do not need to spell out in detail. The timing was not coincidental. It was, as Graham described it, a preemptive procedural strike designed to change the question the court was being asked. I want to give Rachel something here. Not sympathy. I'm not there yet, and I may never be. But dimension. Rachel had watched her marriage end in a way that cost her financially and personally, and she had watched me in the years that followed do things that looked from the outside like moving on, a new relationship, a promotion, a social life. While she had managed Maisie largely alone during a period that had been genuinely difficult, she had accumulated a store of grievance that was real, even if the way she had chosen to act on it was not. She was not a person acting without motive, she was a person acting with too much of it.
I tell you this not to excuse what she did, but because understanding it is the only way to understand why Maisie had been, over several years, gradually repositioned, not through dramatic acts of alienation, but through the slow, consistent work of reframing. The way you describe a father who asks about homework as someone who monitors your every move. The way you describe a father who sets a curfew as someone who isolates you from your friends. Small linguistic shifts repeated over time until the daughter internalizes the frame so completely she cannot distinguish it from her own experience. That is what parental alienation looks like from the inside. It looks like your own feelings.
The harassment claim was struck out in March. The judge who heard it described it as misconceived and noted that litigation conduct that constitutes legal and procedural participation in existing proceedings cannot constitute harassment of the other party. He awarded costs against Rachel.
The family court proceedings are ongoing.
The CAFCASS officer, a woman called Sandra, thorough, direct and visibly uncomfortable by the end of her involvement, submitted a supplementary report in April that noted the deleted messages, the adverse inference application, the timing of the harassment claim, and the linguistic patterns in Maisie's video as collectively raising concerns about the reliability of the child's expressed views as an independent account. She recommended that direct work with Maisie be undertaken by a specialist practitioner before any final determination of contact. Maisie and I have not had contact since November. That is 6 months. She is 15. The 6 months between 15 and 16 are not the same 6 months as other ages. They do not come back.
Here is a twist that I did not see coming. In April, Graham received a message from an intermediary connected to Rachel's legal team. The message indicated that Rachel wished to explore mediation, that she accepted that the proceedings had become destructive, that she was open to a restructured contact arrangement if I would withdraw the adverse inference application.
Graham asked me what I wanted to do. I'm still deciding. Because here is what I have not yet told you. 3 weeks ago, I received a message directly from Maisie's phone. Not routed through Rachel, not via the contact arrangements. Just a message at 11 at night that said, "Dad, I didn't write the video. I need you to know that. I'm sorry."
I have not replied. Not because I do not want to, because Graham has told me that any direct communication with Maisie outside the sanctioned arrangements could be used against me, and I have learned over 11 months to be forensically careful about every single thing I do in this process. I have not replied to my daughter's apology because the legal environment we are operating in does not permit me to respond like a father.
If you were me, what would you have done? I am still working out the answer.